In the early 18th century, Brighton was merely a small fishing town. However, towards the 1780s, it became a seaside retreat for the rich and famous.
In the mid-1780s, George, Prince of Wales, rented a small house over a more developed promenade.
A local physician had advised George to try some seawater treatment, which involved immersing one's full body in salt water.
In 1788, after much pleading from George, the House of Commons cleared his debts so he could build a palace in Brighton.
He hired an architect to transform his old villa into a palace and later fitted it with glass and lead domed roofs.
When Charles III, George's father, was deemed unable to be king, George was sworn in to be Prince Regent.
After this, George hired a renowned architect of the time, John Nash, to enlarge his palace.
When King George died in 1830, he was succeeded by his younger brother, William IV.
When William died, the throne was inherited by his niece, Victoria. However, Victoria came to dislike the Royal Pavilion because she felt uncomfortable in it, as it was once owned by her uncle. She ordered the building to be stripped of all its furniture and everything valuable for use in other royal houses. She did, however, return most of the items, including chandeliers, wall fixtures, and other such furniture. After a short break because of World War II, the restoration project continued. Soon after this, the palace came to look like something of the original piece.
Some time later,
during World War I, the pavilion was used for a hospital for Indian soldiers. Therefore, the hospital interior was inevitably damaged.
In 1920, a program of restoration began after the damage caused by World War I.
After a short break in World War II, the restoration project continued, and the palace was soon looking like the place that King George, the Prince Regent, once stayed in.
Today, the Royal Pavilion mixes two historical styles, Chinese and Indian.
The different sections.
Music room.
One of George IV's greatest passions was music, so it is unsurprising that there was a room devoted to it. The music room has an extraordinary interior, featuring 9 lotus-shaped chandeliers and carved dragons holding up paintings.
The banquet hall is host to an incredibly long table that sits 12 people on each side.
And 26 people altogether.
Hanging from the ceiling is a chandelier that is 30 feet high and weighs a ton. It was decorated by Robert Jones, a talented artist of the day.
The Great Kitchen was completed in 1818 and designed by John Nash. The kitchen had the latest steam heating technology, a constant supply of water from a nearby well, and impressive ventilation systems of 12 high windows.
John Nash designed George's bedroom on the ground floor, since at the time he had become severely overweight and could not go upstairs easily. The apartments were littered with furniture and decor of both French and English style. Now we're going to be talking about how you can get to the pavilion.
There are many ways you can get to Brighton, the most used of which are by train or by car.
If you should choose to go by train, the pavilion is only an 11 minutes walk from the station.
If you were to choose to go by car, there is a direct motorway from London to Brighton, but beware, parking is hard in Brighton.
There are also motorways from the direction of Eastbourne and Portsmouth, so you don't have to go to London. Of course, there are other attractions in Brighton to go to.
For example, Churchill Square.
You could also check out a bunch of shops in the lanes.
Such as the jewelry shop.
This is Sea Life Brighton.
Where you can see a bunch of marine animals.
Or you can enjoy the views of the I-360 in this amazing weather.
You could also go for a quick, refreshing sea swim. The pier is also a great place to relax if you'd like to play some fun games. Well, we're at the Palace Pier. In there is the arcade games, and you basically walk all of 100 meters to get here.
You have
A bunch of rides, yeah. Check those out.
roller coasters and bumper cars.
Water thing, isn't there? The water ride.
Money.
Someone joined in.
That's not bamboo. Now that's bamboo.
Emotional damage.